Hi, my name is Ella Sharpe, and I am a double bass player from North Carolina. This is my second consecutive summer with NYO-USA. Today, I want to talk about how to become a healthy musician. Music is an incredible source of community. What else has the ability to bring people from across the country together for the sole purpose of creating something beautiful? As a young musician, this sense of camaraderie can easily be replaced by a sense of competition. Although competition can be a great incentive for growth, it can also be very detrimental. The moment we start comparing ourselves to others, we let that little voice in our head tell us that we suck or we'll never be good enough. I'm here to tell you that that voice is wrong. Music isn't a competition to see who can play the fastest or the hardest rep. It's only a competition with yourself. You can only be the best musician that you can be. Everyone has their own unique, beautiful sound and background. I'm here to give you some tips so that you can be the best musician that you can be. Tip number 1, how to deal with performance anxiety. One of the most beneficial advice that I've gotten came from a masterclass with Nick Walker. He described playing music like a pearl, each of us being the oyster. We have something of value to offer the audience, and it is individual to each and every one of us. It's similar to how every pearl is individual to each oyster. Getting up in front of friends, peers, or strangers can be incredibly nerve-wracking. It's easy to start believing that everyone out there is just judging you, but really they just want to hear music. After this masterclass, before every performance or masterclass, I told myself that I'm going to offer my pearl for everyone to see. It sounds kind of insane, but the more you start telling yourself that, the more you believe it. Tip number 2, how to develop a healthy mind. Being a musician takes a lot of self-awareness and confidence. We are constantly putting ourselves out there in front of teachers, other musicians, and strangers. Building up this self-awareness can be difficult and takes a lot of focus. There's no equation for developing this self-awareness. It's about finding what works best for you. This year, I spent a lot of time figuring out who I am as a musician and how I can improve. For me, I found incredible value in meditation, yoga, hiking, and poetry. These practices have helped me better understand why I create music. This is not to say that you will find the same value in these activities, but I think it's a healthy start. Tip number 3, physical fitness. Playing an instrument is like a sport, and just like any athlete, we need to take care of our bodies. Especially being a bass player, being physically active is important for endurance. Find something that you love that keeps your body in tip-top shape. For me, it's running, biking, and yoga, but for you it could be anywhere from walking your dog to mountain climbing. In a masterclass with Paul Ellison, he stressed the importance of finding exercises that both work your body and focus your mind. This ties into body awareness. To prevent injury, being aware of how our bodies work can help us with longevity and comfort while playing. I found yoga to be helpful with both of these aspects of playing. Other practices include Tai Chi, Alexander Technique, Qigong, and many more. These practices help to assess problems in our posture and movement. Remember, prevention is always better than rehabilitation. Tip number 4, warming up. As a musician, we spend hours in a practice room. This can cause tension, stress, and sometimes even injury. Like I said before, it's better to act with precaution than to accept the consequences later. Before I go into a practice room, I often turn on my favorite music and dance to get my blood flowing. I also have a routine of stretches and warm-ups that I do before I start playing, but I find dancing to be more fun. They are also important before any performance or rehearsal. You might get some weird looks as you warm up. I've gotten my fair share. But you'll be all the healthier for it. Mini tips. You can create confidence from the outside in. Before a performance, I often stick a pencil in my mouth and stand with my hands on my hips in a power pose. While looking like an idiot, this can trick your body into believing that you're both confident and happy. The pencil in your mouth forces you to smile, and the more you fake smile, the more you actually start to smile. Speaking of which, always bring a pencil. Listen to your teachers and mentors. They've been doing this a lot longer than you have and have probably picked up quite a bit more wisdom. Whether you agree with them or not, different opinions are always valuable. The same goes for your peers. I've learned just as much from them as I have my teachers. Don't be afraid to explore different genres of music. You don't have to be an expert to have fun. The first step is putting yourself out there. This year, I joined my friends who play Irish music. I picked up the bodhrán. Am I good at it? No, but I have a lot of fun doing it. I've talked a lot about reducing anxiety and stress from a mental standpoint, but I also want to talk about the importance of training your body. The other half of mental preparation is a lot of repetitive work, training your muscles through muscle memory. Though it's not the most fun part of playing an instrument, it is necessary. I hope these tips are helpful. Remember, it's important to find what works for you when cultivating your musical growth. This year, I made it into the semifinals of an international competition alongside my incredibly talented NYO colleague, Willie Sweat. Being around such high-caliber playing was intimidating, but also inspiring. I didn't end up placing in the finals, but I found it incredibly valuable to recognize the growth that I had made over the past year. Instead of leaving the competition defeated, I left invigorated with a new drive. In the end, it's important to remember that you can only be the best musician that you can be. Thanks for checking out the NYO-U page. Subscribe below.